Well, following massacres that left over 1,400 dead, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, Syria's government vowed to investigate the second major episode of sectarian violence to hit the country since Bashar al-Assad was ousted. The decree says that a seven-person committee, including judges, lawyers, and a military official, will report on the findings within 3 months. Well, the violence between tribal fighters and Druze factions in Sweida began in mid-July, with bloodshed worsening when government forces were sent to quell the fighting. Now, observers have also expressed concern about what could be a growing phenomenon in post-Assad Syria, and that's the kidnapping of women. Take a listen to the UN's special reporter.
I'm seriously concerned by credible reports received by UN Human Rights Office and also my office, indicating widespread violations and abuses, including summary executions and arbitrary killings, kidnappings, destructions of private property, and looting of homes. Among the reported perpetrators were members of security forces and individuals affiliated with the authorities, as well as other armed elements from the area, including Druze and Bedouins. Let me also stress my concern at reports of abductions of Druze women after the entry of the security forces into particular areas, and at reports of women, children, and men who are missing. The parallels with similar incidents involving Alawite women earlier this year, and which are reportedly ongoing, are alarming. There are growing concerns of emerging patterns in the treatment of women, including by combatants.
Well, on Sunday, today then, armed groups attacked Syria's internal security forces in Sweida, killing one member of security forces and injuring several others, according to state-run TV. A security source also said that the incident marks a violation of the hastily agreed ceasefire that was reached last month. From where we'll cross now to Amr Fahed, an artist and human rights activist in Syria. Amr, thank you so much for joining us today. So if I understand correctly, you personally witnessed this episode of violence in July. Can you talk a bit about that? I mean, was it different than other episodes of violence that we've seen since Bashar al-Assad was ousted?
Hello, good evening. Thank you for this chance. I think it's the same climate because Bashar al-Assad was attacking directly the cities and killing the people with weapons. And now what's happening, I think it's the same. Bashar al-Assad was always the seat or surround the cities and try to push in so many humanitarian sites. This regime now is doing the same thing in two sides: the military works and the humanitarian side on Sweida.
So does that mean, Amr, that essentially for the residents of Sweida right now, there's essentially very little difference between what life looked like under Bashar al-Assad and what life looks like now?
Actually, Sweida before was not. They don't have many problems while Bashar al-Assad, but that there was no government here in Sweida. But now the situation is different because now we are attacking by the what they call the Syrian army or the Syrian government, and they are surrounding us, surrounding the city with their checkpoints. They are not allowing the humanitarian aid to come inside the Sweida, even if some of them or some of the aids come, but it's very little. It's not enough for the people who are now Sweida, especially after hundreds of refugees who were living on the countryside of Sweida come to the Sweida city because their countryside now is not safe.
So can you give us some background and context into the violence then that started in Sweida? If I understand correctly, it sounds like things were actually much calmer there under Bashar al-Assad. So why would why do you think that situation has changed? What's behind it?
Actually, this government, they are not showing good intention to Sweida, because after they entered the Sweida, in a few minutes, they start making the masks and field execution with people, and we saw many videos telling these things. About what happened on the few days when they came inside to Sweden. So this is the point. This is the big difference. They are in bad situation. They didn't show the good attention to the civilians of Sweden. Uh, this is the big difference. Bashar al-Assad before didn't attack us. That doesn't mean that Sweden was with agree with the old regime, but for us. The situation is more difficult, more bad than the old regime.
Again, in my understanding, reporting suggests that the Druze community is being targeted. Is there an ethnic sectarian element then to the violence that we've seen there?
Actually, yes, they were focusing on this point. If you are not a Muslim, you are a Druze, then we have to kill you directly. Even if you don't have weapons, if you are living with your family inside the house, your home or your house, that they don't care about these details. They only focusing on what is your religion and why you are not Muslim. If you are not a Muslim Sunni, then we have to kill you. This is their culture, actually.
So al-Shara's government, Amr, vowed to carry out an investigation into the events. Do you trust this government's pledges to reject sectarian violence, to protect minorities, including the Druze community, as it had promised earlier this year?
Actually, I think, in my opinion, how can we make such things from the same side, who are attacking us? How can I trust them? It's the same. I come and kill you, and then I'll say to you later, okay, don't worry, I will ask about who did these things with you. You are safe. I think nobody trusts the government or any kind of move they will make to solve this problem.
I know this is a really complex, multifaceted problem, as you suggest there, with decades of history and amongst other elements affecting the way that this will play out. But in your view, what do you think the most effective solution would be to avoid a deeper sectarian crisis in Sweida and in Syria at large?
Let me start with Sweden. I think that the first thing they have to show the good attention because they are always attacking Sweida. They go and say, okay, we have to stem the army actions. And after a few minutes from their announce, they start attacking Sweida again. So first of all, showing the good attention. The second point is that I think the international society should push on this government to stop this kind of military movement and stop attacking the city. I think that the international side or the international groups or the UN or they should push in this government to stop killing people first of all, then let the aids go inside the Sweda with as much as they can. Okay, then we will find the solutions after they make this movement.
Amr Fahed, Syrian human rights activist and artist, thank you very much for joining us today.